First off, happy birthday to Carl Thomas. That was Carl Thomas. I wish, and I wish some things didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, there were two mass shootings. One, of course, in San Francisco that didn't get as much coverage, where there were fatalities. And the other was, of course, in Alexandria, Virginia, where on the baseball diamond, there were members of the United States Congress that were shot. Steve Scalise remains in critical condition, and that certainly is troubling. But I think no one can say that it's not consistent with the America we've come to know. And one of the things I find particularly disturbing is that Mr. Scalise, in 2002, I mean, he met, he had a meeting with white supremacists. He called himself, allegedly, David Duke without the baggage. And so this that's not tantamount to somebody attempting to assassinate you. What troubles me more is that allegedly hours after the shooting in Alexandria, Virginia, on the baseball diamond took place, there was supposed to be a special House committee that was convening to make it legal to have silencers on guns and to relax the restrictions on guns to the extent that it would make it easier for domestic abusers and easier for felons to get a gun. Wow. Now, to me, I don't know how any of those three things makes America safer. I think that at a certain point, you have to understand that regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, there are people that should not, no American citizen should have access to weapons that do that kind of damage. Mm-hmm. One man shot that many people, and the only reason that many people weren't dead is because there happened to be a security detail on site. Had that been anywhere else, and Congress is complicit in loosening the rules that make it easier for them to have those guns. Those guns should be banned, and everyone knows it. There does not need to be that level of weaponry where somebody's capable of doing that. One man is capable of doing that much damage in that little time, and no one can produce any viable reason. If you're not a hunter and you need 100 rounds. If you're a hunter and you shoot that bad, you're no longer a hunter. You're a Los Angeles Laker. Wow. It is ridiculous for this notion to continue, and I can only give you as much sympathy as you deserve, because you are complicit, and a lot of these men, although they're crying and praying, are complicit in putting those weapons in those men's hands. What is the purpose of giving somebody access to a silencer? That is a weapon that assassins use. You're only giving somebody that level of weapon so they can kill something without anybody knowing about it. Hmm. You're making it easier for them to commit crimes, and for years you've been hunting, decades you've been hunting, centuries you've been hunting. You never needed a silencer before. A silencer that is definitely going to endanger American lives. You want to put the guns in the hands of, you want to make it easier for felons, and you want to make it easier for domestic abusers to get. Matter of fact, the man who did the shooting yesterday had a domestic abuse charge. Mm. You are complicit in your own demise. Just like a lot of times when young black men are killed by the police, well, if they'd only, you cannot feel sorry for somebody that is putting themselves in harm's way. I guess it's okay when it's society in general, but it ain't no fun when a rabbit got a gun. And it really ain't fun when you put that gun in that rabbit's hand. The hours after this, and they also say that this will not deter them, that they're still going to try to give access to silencer. They're still going to try to make it easier for felons and domestic abusers to get weapons. What part of that makes you safe? What part of that makes you safe? So we can lament and feel sorry, but they are complicit in their own in their own destruction, because it ain't going to be just citizens at large getting shot. And not every citizen has access to security detail and top-notch health care. You're willing to put America at risk because you are slaves to the gun lobby. You're slaves to them. There's no viable reason that a felon or a domestic abuse, you know who most women are killed by? People who they know. People who have access to them. And generally they have domestic abuse in their file. So you're going to make it harder for them. You're going to make it more dangerous for them. And you call yourself a servant of America? You're not a servant? You call yourself a congressman? You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm sorry for what happened, but you should have saw it coming. You're making America more dangerous because you are slaves to the gun lobby. You go to bed, you wake up with fleas. You give a guy a gun, and sometimes you get shot by him. That's a little note from the GED section. We got a Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.